was a time when this meant tradition, it meant love, it meant addiction in some cases. I'm sure I wasn't the only guy called a CrackBerry back in the day, and it's one of the main reasons why the recent ad struck a positive nerve in my heart. I loved my BlackBerries back then.
I used to love my BlackBerry.
I still do.
But a lot has gone wrong since then, and then a few steps were done right. The BlackBerry KEYone was a good step in that right direction, but it wasn't quite the daily driver for me. So it's time for round 2. I'm Jaime Rivera with Pocketnow, and let's find out if the BlackBerry KEY2 is finally my daily driver. Fun fact, what I loved the most about BlackBerries back in the day is that I felt that they were the perfect blend between hardware and software. They were elegant, they were fast, and they lasted all day and then some. I feel the BlackBerry KEY2 gets the hardware right. Think of the KEYone on a very strict diet and then fix everything I didn't like about it. We have a gorgeous aluminum build matched with a stippled back for added grip. And have I told you just how light this phone is? I mean, if you're coming from a KEYone, it is a dramatic difference. Now, bear in mind, this device is designed to be a communicator first, and therefore the spec sheet is designed to deliver on that. We have a new Qualcomm Snapdragon 660 processor for power efficiency, 6 GB of RAM, 64 gigs of expandable storage, a 3500 mAh battery with Qualcomm Quick Charge 3.0 in tow. The battery life has proven to be as good as the KEYone, but oddly, for some reason, I sometimes feel the KEYone could go a little farther. I've ended the day with at least 50% of battery on this device pretty much every single time, but I had cases with the KEYone where, oh my god, I could get up to the second day and even then some. Now, a lot of the power efficiency comes from having less display to power. At 4.5 inches diagonal, 1620 by 1080 resolution, and LCD technology, we don't necessarily get the best experience when it comes to media consumption. Now, don't get me wrong, colors are great, but we don't have the brightest display here, and obviously the form factor gets in the way of 16:9 video.
Display also make for the experience more immersive than the OnePlus 6.
And then the speaker quality is not necessarily the greatest and very easy to muffle. So again, the experience of content consumption is not what I would call its stronghold. Bear in mind, this is a communicator first again, and the bottom 40 here is what makes that happen mostly. I wasn't really much of a fan of the KEYone's keyboard, but I think BlackBerry finally got it right. We now have more spacious keys and a matte finish. If you like the keyboard on the BlackBerry Bold 9900 back in the day, this keyboard feels almost as good. It is seriously a joy to type on. Though there is a learning curve. If you've been typing on glass for years, going back to pressing keys actually feels awkward at first. It took me about 3 days to get used to it. That being said, I do love that there is text prediction, so you don't really need to type words correctly. And if you're multilingual like me, you can create a multilingual keyboard in the settings in order to not have to be switching languages all the time. Now, for those of you asking the million-dollar question, why would you want a keyboard in 2018? It has everything to do with the experience with the software. One of the main reasons why I became addicted to BlackBerries back in the day was because of how much you could customize them to feel yours. See, each key allows you to set up to 2 shortcuts, and the speed key at the bottom right allows you to access these from anywhere in the user interface. Want to call on your girlfriend by pressing the X? Do it. Want to launch WhatsApp with a W? You can also do that. I honestly find the experience of jumping between applications to be cumbersome on regular phones, or even basic things like making a phone call, which is something I don't feel I have a problem with on the KEY2. There's even a convenience key for more shortcuts. You can use the keyboard for navigation gestures, and even the spacebar serves as a fingerprint scanner and to take photos when you're in the camera. Now, software is actually one of the things that I praise on this device because it's unique in the things that it has to be. We have Android 8.1 out of the box, which I praise. Productivity being its main focus, it offers essentials like the BlackBerry Hub, where you can consolidate all of your messaging. There are slide menus from the left or right where you can set your calendar, task, and even other widgets from other apps. Security being also important, we have BlackBerry Detect, which provides full granular control over what applications can see from your privacy. I'll admit I'm shocked at how many times apps like Google will use your microphone without you knowing it in the background, or apps will use your camera without you knowing it as well in the background. It's made me question if I want to use these applications or not, or it's made me use DTEK to be able to not allow these applications to use the camera, for example. But probably what's most important is that all these layers don't really bog down the experience of navigating through menus. It's definitely not a gaming phone by any means, but it'll get the job done if you tax it. I also praise this device for the basics of being a communicator, doing a great job at clinging to networks and Wi-Fi in the toughest of situations, and also being really good at phone calls. Now, moving the spotlight over to one of the most important reasons why I buy a phone or not, I have to say that I am partially disappointed at the cameras. And I say partially because if you launch the viewfinder on the primary shooter, you'd believe that the photos are blurry or bad. I think that there must be some sort of a bug in the camera app, because once you look at the final photos both on the phone and on the computer, the results are actually really good. There's great color saturation and detail at this point, and even low light performance is decent in most scenarios. I can't really say that portrait shots are the best that I've seen, but they're not bad. And the same can be said for using this telephoto camera so long as you do it in daylight. Video recording is where things start to get weird. Again, I'm not sure if this is a software bug or not, but my unit claims to have enhanced video stabilization, and I don't really notice any when I'm walking around. And even if I find selfie video to offer a really good crop, I also don't notice stabilization being offered here. And in the topic of selfies, this is another point of disappointment for me. The results are honestly mediocre at best with washed out photos, even in good lighting, and don't even get me started about low light performance. Sure, I get it that business customers might not be fans of selfies, but I don't think that's an excuse for selfies to be bad, particularly on this device. To conclude, I have to say that I am very mixed about this device. I am one of those people that actually do love the design, I love the keyboard, I love the conveniences of the software, and oh my god, I love this phone's battery life. Sadly, it's not the perfect phone, and it's not perfect in things that are very important. Things like, for example, the $650 price tag are very difficult to sell. You've really climbed into OnePlus 6 territory here. And yes, I do get that this phone is designed for a niche in mind, but this amount of money leaves no room for mediocrity, and the camera experience falls there, in addition to the lack of essentials like water resistance. My final verdict is that I do love the BlackBerry KEY2. I will be using it as my communicator, but bear in mind my case is unique. I also carry a second phone that will most likely serve as my multimedia powerhouse and also will take better photos than this phone. Unless you love the BlackBerry KEY2 for the same reasons that I do, it's very hard for me to sit here and tell you that this device is worth $650. I feel that it's overpriced. I feel that there are other options out there that will do a better job in essentials that are key for users today. So unless you fall under that niche of people that actually want a keyboard in this experience, my final verdict would be that you would be probably better served with other options for a little less money. Folks, let us know what you think about the BlackBerry KEY2 in the comments down below. Would you be willing to buy this phone or not? And while you're at it, make sure you follow us on social media and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. You can follow me on Twitter, Jaime_Rivera, on Instagram at Jaime Rivera. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.